Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with Game 6 of the Grail Quest 2013 tournament, My Empire versus an Ogre Army. So this is a watchtower scenario, except you can't enter the watchtower, and actually I don't see how it's a watchtower scenario, but anyway, you can't enter the watchtower, and it's kind of like a regular battle line game, except that you can get 3 bonus points for wounding, for being the player who wounds the tower the most. So the tower is like toughness 5, an infinite amount of wounds, stuff like that. But you can, instead of trying to allocate hits on your opponent, if you get a unit next to the building, you can allocate hits on the building, and whoever does the most wounds to it can get 3 extra battle points. And at the end of the game, you get 2 extra battle points for having a unit with the highest model count within 6 inches of the building. Now, as with a lot of things, once the game starts, a lot of times I don't pay attention to the scenario unless it's critical. Unless a critical scenario like do this and you win the game, then I try to pay attention to it. But extra battle points are something I try to think about turns 5 and 6, and a lot of times I forget about it even then. So my list, his list starting on the left. He's got a couple of saber tusks, 25 noblars. Then he's got a unit of 8 man-eaters. And these things, I don't think this picture really does it justice. They look really cool. And in fact, this guy and his wife paint them, and they have a painting blog with a link down at the bottom in mgmpainting.com if you want to go see more of it. It's pretty good stuff. But anyway, they've 8 man-eaters, full command. He's got the Dragonhide banner. They have poison and swift stride. So these things, they're a fair amount of points, but man, they're certainly a unit that I am worried about. Then he's got a unit of Iron Guts. I wouldn't classify it as a Death Star, but the way that most people play ogres, they put a few characters in there, and you can use the characters to really protect that unit. So they've got Standard Discipline, Slaughter, Master, Bruiser, and Firebelly all in there. Then he's got a Giant Spine Chaos Beast, just like I do, and he has the Always Strikes First Marcus Lanesh. So we both have identical ones. The difference is he's using the actual model that's designed for that. And I have a close-up picture later on of that thing. It's pretty good. There's a Iron Blaster behind it, and then a unit of 9 bulls. So I like this ogre list. It's not a Death Star. There's a lot of units that you have to pay attention to and worry about. The Man-Eaters and Iron Guts certainly, but the Giant Chaos Spine Beast, the 9 bulls. There's other things on the table you have to worry about. So I kind of went mostly in one corner. I want to be able to weaken his units. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pick off a lot of stuff, but if I can weaken them before I get in combat, that would certainly help a lot. The plan with the steam tank is to go right at that spine beast and see if I can use the cannon to hurt it. Because the cannon on the steam tank. The cannon itself can't see it. So Empire turn 1. The steam tank rolls. I go I think 2 dice towards movement because I don't really want to get close, and I rolled 12, so I zoom way too far up there. So I am going to get a shoot at that spine beast, but the problem is he can now charge me with his Iron Guts, which is, I didn't want him charging me. I want to be able to charge him, or at least slow him down a little bit. But anyway, move up like that. Go to the magic phase. I get one of my, I think my jeez Louise, my banishment, the bound spell, Irresistible Force, off on his man-eaters, and I killed 2 of them. So that helps. The unit's still tough, but I'll take it. And then the steam tank shoots at the Giant Chaos Spine Beast, gets past his regen, and does 2 wounds to it. So I'd rather have done more, but from 6 down to 4, I'll take it. So Ogre's turn 1. Yeah, his Iron Guts discharge my steam tank. Otherwise, on my right, he's moving around very swiftly, and on the left, not so much. He's using his saber tusks to slow down my spine beast as well as my demigryphs. Yeah, so there's that. And when he uses dice, he's counting how many wounds remain. I usually do how many wounds I've taken. So this is the far left. I'm not too worried about that. I'd rather just go ahead and charge these things, get them dead and off the table. But of course, I can't do it if that's going to mean that it's going to put me in a bad position. So it looks like that. Oh, there's a close-up. Yeah, and again, sometimes when I zoom in with the camera, I just don't get the quality there, but it's pretty cool looking model. So then we go to the magic phase, and he gets irresistible force on the regen spell bubble version. Then in the miscast he rolls double ones, and then to see if he gets sucked into the void he rolls a 1. So big template blast. I think it does a wound to my steam tank, but it definitely kills a solder master, and I think it only kills I think it only does 4 wounds to the unit, so it kills one of them and puts a wound on another one. So I was kind of hoping for more damage to the unit, but I'm not going to complain a bit. His level 4 is off the table. He still has a level 2 fire belly, but now I have an advantage in the magic phase, definitely. His Iron Blaster opens up on my Hurricanum, hits it, wounds it, and does 4 wounds. That thing has 5 wounds, so it was nice. Just even keeping 1 wound on it means that if he wants to target it, he can't target anything else, and there's certainly juicier targets on the table. So very happy with that. After combat, yeah, this is crazy. My steam tank is down to 1 wound. Again, I think the miscast did 1 wound to me. That means he did 8 wounds. My steam tank's going to die next round of combat, no doubt about it. I can't generate steam points without misfiring. So it's just an automatic misfire. So the choice is just try to blow myself up, or somehow hope I get lucky and still do some grinding attacks. So this game was 2 weeks ago. I think I blew myself up, and the reason I'm thinking that is because I see a wound on his spined Chaos Beast. So I think I just went ahead and blew myself up, and I didn't do anything to the unit. That was a real bummer, but I did put a wound on the spine beast. It's down to 3. Better than nothing, I guess, and otherwise I move like that. The demis on the left charge the Saber Tusk. My spine beast passes a march test and just marches around the flank. Otherwise, you can see how it looks. So those will be easy points. And over here, not a whole lot of great options here. I need to get that spine beast dead. If I can kill it, then I'm not too worried about his Iron Guts charging my rightmost halberdier unit. I mean, it'll hurt. He'll probably, he'll hurt the unit a lot, but I'll be steadfast, and overall I should win the War of Attrition, I think. But the Spine Beast, if he comes in with them, then and I can't flee it because I'll just flee right off the table. What I didn't see was that his Iron Guts can see my unit on the left. I just didn't notice it. Had I thought about it, I easily could have seen that. And the problem there is he could charge my leftmost halberdier unit with my battle standard bearer in it with the Iron Guts and his man-eaters. And I probably wouldn't even be steadfast. He would just slaughter that unit. And I did not see that coming. So during the magic or shooting, I don't know which one did it. It doesn't matter. The Spine Beast had the last 3 wounds taken off, so that was very nice. I'm pretty sure that was a banishment. Over here it looks like that. The demi's just reforming. Go to Ogre's turn 2. So yeah, his Iron Guts charge my Battle Standard Bearer's Halberdier unit, and I take it. And then we declare the charge of the Man-Eaters. I said, there's just no way. I can't afford it. So I flee with them. His Saber Tusk was facing another direction, so he couldn't charge me. If the Saber Tusk was able to declare a charge as well, I probably wouldn't have fled because it just would have pushed me off the table, and it just would have been bad news. As it is, I fled from the Man-Eaters. I'm really nervous because I'm going to be leadership 10, which means I should rally, but if I don't rally, I'm probably going to go right off the board, and that's a lot of points. His bulls on the right charged my halberdier unit on the right, and he failed his charge. And his Iron Guts, I think they failed the redirect, because otherwise I'm almost positive they would have charged my other unit of halberdiers. So anyway, overall it looks like that. He brings his Noblars up to block my Spine Beast, so I can't charge the Man-Eaters, which isn't a big deal, because all I have to do is declare a charge against the Noblars, and they'll probably fail their terror test. So yeah, nervous. Iron Blaster opens up in the demis. He kills one. That I don't mind. I do mind having to take a panic test because I have no reroll, but I passed the panic, and so I'm okay there. Empire turn 3. So, the big news is the BSB's unit rallies. And I do it in a way that looks, if you look at the lower left, that looks weird, but basically I'm 10 plus 3 plus 3, so 16 wide, And then I'm not as far back as this shows, but I just didn't feel like moving the models because that was a this turn only kind of thing, and it wasn't going to affect much. So my opponent knew what I was doing, but basically I was going 16 wide so that my Battle Standard Bearer could give rerolls to the Halberdier unit and the Archlector that charged his Iron Guts. The my Spine Beast charges Narblars. They failed their terror test. They landed somewhere kind of awkwardly, and I think I charged them with something else, anything else, and it pushed him back where you see him now. Charged the Man-Eaters, and he fled and bounced through everything. So they bounced through. They're basically, they are, or they at least should be, 1 inch past his bull unit. So panic tests all around. He passed them all. That I don't really love because they are more than likely going to rally before they get off the table. And so now they're kind of at a part that I wasn't prepared for. I don't have my Spine Beast, my Demigryphs over there. So anyway, big turn over here. Yeah. That's not good. The only problem, I thought I would come in and do a lot of wounds to the unit, but the problem is his champion and my Archlector getting a challenge. So he has his champion in the front left as we're looking at it, and then he pulls up his Battle Standard Bearer and his Fire Belly. So I can't attack the unit, and those models are fairly well protected. And that's the problem with, that's how people run Iron Gut units, is you protect those relatively fragile Iron Guts who still get to attack you back with strength. What is it? Strength 6 attacks. So I'm hoping to do some wounds to his characters, but for the most part, I just can't do a whole lot there. After combat, it looks like that. I've done 1 wound to his Fire Belly. I don't think I did any wounds to his Battle Standard Bearer. My general and his champion are locked in a challenge. The Speculum is helping a little bit. Yeah, didn't go as well as I had hoped, but I'm not sure I was really surprised by the result. Ogres turn 3. So his bulls, I think he would have preferred to charge them into the flank of my Halberdier unit, but they couldn't squeeze past his Man-Eaters because when they fled through, they were only 1 inch away, and so he could hit me, but he couldn't close the door, and I couldn't close the door to him because I was already locked in combat. So since he couldn't do that, he charged my Hurricanum, and I just fled. His Man-Eaters rallied. That was a real bummer. His Noblars continue running, and his Saber-Tusk, I don't know what his Saber-Tusk is doing up there. My assumption is he might have, well, I have no idea. Anyway, he's doing that. There's my Hurricanum. Yeah, the Hurricanum were not going to be able to stand up to a charge with those bulls, and then he just would have been all in my business behind my lines. So by fleeing, I forced a panic test, which I thought I should be okay, and it'll rally or not, and whatever. But I was going to lose him anyway. So there's that. There's that. And after combat, so his Fire Belly's down to 1 wound. His champion finally died, so that's kind of nice. Now I can issue a challenge. At that point, he just has to make the decision. I mean, does he want to, he can feed me his Fire Belly, but at some point he's going to have to feed me his Battle Standard Bearer or retire his Battle Standard Bearer so that if I win combat, he doesn't get a reroll. I'm not sure how much of an issue that's going to be because he's winning combat because he's doing so many wounds to my Halberdiers. You can see I do have Phos protection up. I've got reroll to wound up, so I'm dominant in the magic phase, so I am getting some buffs, but it certainly could be better. So Empire turn 4, my Demis charge his Iron Blaster and it flees. And in case I forget to mention it later, it does not rally on his turn and runs right off the board. My Spine Beast just comes marching around that building, ready to do a rear charge very, very soon. I reform my Halberdiers again. I'm trying to keep my Battle Standard Bearer within 12 inches of the main combat, but I want to be as far away as possible from his units. His bulls still don't need too far to charge me, but in all honesty, I don't know how that battle will go. I think I'll do okay if his bulls charge my large Halberdier unit on the lower left. And after combat, so I get Baroness Time Warp off, which helps, and more importantly, now I'm starting to kill characters. I can allocate attacks towards rank and file, and I get them whittled down pretty well. So his Battle Standard Bearer is down to 2 wounds. I'm pretty sure the BSB and I are in a challenge, and my assumption is he just didn't move the model over. His Fire Belly's dead, so he's got rank and file against my Halberdiers. The bad news, of course, is that my Halberdiers have been whittled down greatly, And if his bulls charge out of the way, his man-eaters can charge my halberdiers in the flank, and that is not going to end well for the halberdiers. So his bulls charge my halberdier unit, and they fail the charge. The man-eaters, with the way opened up, they charge the flank of the halberdiers. That's, like I said, that's that's not good if you're a halberdier. Yeah, not good at all. So after combat, it looks like that. So I killed one man-eater, so it's better than nothing. Let's see, he started with 8 and he's down to 5. Yeah, so I killed 2 with banishment on turn 1, and I killed 1 in that combat. He just totally destroys the halberdiers. I don't know if he broke them and ran them down or if he just killed them all. I think he killed them all. Then I think anyway, he either reformed or whatever. He looks like that. We're locked in challenge by Large Selector and his Battle Standard Bearer. Now this whole tournament, I should say now, I did not use the Charmed Shield ever this whole tournament. I forgot that I had it, and I have the Warrior Bane sword, and I never used that this whole tournament because I forgot I had it. So depending on how you want to interpret that, the rule on the Warrior Bane sword, his BSB probably shouldn't have quite as many attacks against me, but yeah, either way, it's pretty much a big pillow fight. He's down to a couple wounds left. I need to do something on my turn, or else, the man-eaters can charge in, and if they have a champion, and so, well, I guess I'm already in a challenge, but oh yeah, so here's a mistake that I don't know to whom to attribute the mistake, but when he charged in with his halberdier unit, I think we were between challenges, and when he charged in, we started taking fear tests and everything, and when we started to roll dice, I said, well, wait, I'm going to issue a challenge, and so he had to accept the BSB because the champion in the man-eater unit couldn't accept it. If he had thought about it, it was his turn. He could have issued a challenge first, and then I could have accepted it with my champion, but I could not have accepted it with my Arch-Elector. And that would have made things just different. But neither one of us really thought about it, and until afterwards, and then he was kind of kicking himself. So I don't know how that would have changed things, but it might have been a different dynamic. But as it is, we're tied in with the challenge with my Arch-Elector and his Battle Standard Bearer. Empire turn 5. So the Spine Beast comes charging into the flank of the Man-Eaters. I'm not really anxious about that fight because Man-Eaters are tough as nails. He's going to be able to reform, and then my guy might die. But I have to keep them from being able to charge my general. If nothing else, even just impact hits might kill my guy. My Hurricane rallied, by the way, so it's parked behind my halberdier unit. I'm moving my wizards out of the way of a Saber Tusk. Looks like that. By the way, at this point, we realize that the game is probably only going to do 5 turns. After combat, you can see I did some wounds to his man-eaters. He did, I think, 2 wounds to me and reforms, so I think we're both nervous about this. I made a big mistake here, too. During my shooting phase, I targeted his bull unit with my cannon, and I think I killed a bull. The mistake I made was, the only reason I did that was because there's nothing else for my cannon to do. I could have and should have targeted the building because nobody's attacked the building yet, and if I would have hit it with the building and not even a single wound, that would have yielded me 3 battle points at the end. And that's huge. I was kicking myself for forgetting that. So we go to Ogre's turn 5, and yeah, somehow on my turn his Saber Tusk died. I assume it's from banishment, and I think I got a miss Irresistible Force because I put a wound on both of my level 1s, which yielded half points for both of them. Spine Beast went to town against the Man-Eaters. They only did 1 wound to me. He killed a bunch of them, broke them, and he has 1 guy left. So he retains half points on his Man-Eaters. We never did get in a fight with the bulls and my halberdiers. I think, in all honesty, they failed the charge again. It's possible he decided not to, but I don't think to. I think he failed it. So, yeah. So when the game's over, it ended up being, even though it was a really close game, it felt like a close game throughout it. Yeah, I mean, by the time it was done, he only had his bulls left and half points for his man-eaters, and I still had a bunch of points left. So it's a 16-4 victory. I got 2 bonus points for having the closest the unit within 6 inches of the building. Again, I could have and should have had 3 more. That just kills me when I do stuff like that. So it put me at 96 points overall out of a possible 150, which netted 3rd place best general. And actually, in all honesty, I think I was 6th place in battle points, but I got 3rd place best general because 3 of the people ahead of me won 1st through 3rd place overall. I took 4th place overall. If I had targeted the stupid building instead of his guys, that would have made me tied for third best overall, and I don't know who would have won the tiebreaker. But whatever. I mean, we all of us make mistakes throughout all the games, so it's not fair to say one thing did anything, one decision made any difference. So, but a fourth overall, I was very happy with. Like I said, there were 60 players in this tournament, and so I think you have to have a lot of things go right, and um, so can't complain a bit about that. So I'll try to post a tournament overview wrap up here in the near future. But that's the sixth game. Hope you enjoyed it.